there will be no video because it's going to be too problematic. You'll be able to see it, but then you won't be able to hear it, but then without the music. And here we are. We're live. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to part 2A of our New Gods Detroit actual play of Part-Time God 2nd Edition. As you can see, there are only 3 of us actually here. You may see Aloy in the bottom corner, and that is because we are actually going to split up part 2 of our 3-part series so that we're focusing on 2 of the new gods at a time. And this way we can get a little deeper in the characters, because at the same time too, we haven't really seen a lot of their real life. And even if there are things where it's like, technically you're not going to work and that kind of thing, I'd really like to be able to find a way to show how you're balancing this investigation with any and all responsibilities that your characters have had. So that even... Oh, I just heard myself talking.
Sorry, I put on the live stream so that we could,
okay.
So I could please chat.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, so that this way, even if mechanically it's not happening in the game, that we're still kind of seeing this juggling act, because let's face it, if any of us suddenly found out that we were gods and suddenly responsible for finding what happened to the old gods, just having to drop everything just to do that, it's going to be a little tricky. So yeah, that's why we kind of figured that having just 2 players at a time. So then next time, it'll be in a week from now or in 2 weeks, we'll do part 2B, which will be with Aloy and Carol, and we'll give these 2 the night off. So let's start off with little introductions. Crystal, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and why they should know you?
Hi, I am Crystal Mazer. I am a freelance writer, educator, and developer for the current developer for Pip System.
And current, and will probably always stay that way. Current makes it sound like we have plans to replace you. There are no plans to replace you. Let's make that very clear.
Okay, yes. Not planning on leaving at any point for that at all. So.
And let's take a quick little plug for the workshop that you're going to be doing in Gen Con in just a couple of weeks.
Yes, so I have, it's a basic overview of the Pip system, as well as converting your game to the Pip system. So I will actually have a worksheet, and we will go over a process of converting a game that I have chosen to the Pip system, and how you would look at that between character sheets, rule books, and stuff like that.
Perfect. Yeah, very, very good. That'll be cool. That's something I wish I could kind of attend myself, but at the same time too, I'm just going to cheat and just use my direct access to Crystal to just get it firsthand.
I might try recording it, so if I end up doing that, I'll probably try to put it up on Twitch or something like that.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, okay, perfect, cool. Yeah, let me know about that, definitely. All right, so then Phil, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and why they should know you?
Phil Vecchione. I am co-host of the Misdirected Mark podcast and Pandas Talking Games, and game designer and publisher, and just recently published a quick start for our newest game, Turning Point, the dramatic collaborative decision-making engine. And so that's currently available on DriveThru. Just search for Turning Point Quick Start.
Nice. And you also beat me to the punch of asking you if there is something in particular that you should be plugging right now. So there we go. Preemptive strike. I like it. Well, I guess it just leaves me to do the introductions. My name is Todd Crapper. I am your GM for tonight. I am the design and marketing manager for Third Eye Games. And also, too, you probably know me from a few other things, because I have an insatiable appetite for doing freelance work in the RPG market, and it's costing me my sanity. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so let's get started with everything. So previously on part 1 of New Gods of Detroit, we established our characters, who are Javier Vega, who is a photographer and newly discovered god of names. We have Carol, who is the goddess of online knowledge, who also works as like one of those online drivers, Uber Eats, or whatever the case. My understanding is she basically bounces around and works for a bunch of different apps and services. We also have Cheyenne, who is the goddess of Lake Michigan, who we'll be seeing more of tonight, played by Crystal. And then we also have Case, who has just discovered that he is the god of cars, played by Phil tonight. And, considering some of the I actually was just finished listening to the love lettering episode of Misdirected Mark, Phil, and the entire time I'm thinking of it, I'm literally thinking of these two characters and the fact that you are the god of cars, and one of your truths basically says, we're going to have a little fun tonight with that. Yeah, okay, so anyways. So in that previous game, each of you had a few kind of random encounters where you had started to discover that there were these strange occurrences that were going on that had to do with your Dominion. And you kept having these sightings of Harvey Keitel. Well, one thing led to another, and eventually the four of you had all got together and met, and Harvey Keitel revealed himself. Actually, he couldn't even reveal himself because he couldn't answer any questions directly. So he had some help from somebody who could explain it, and that he is the god of divine secrets. And basically, something happened to the old gods of Detroit. The only information that you've been able to find out so far, because the concern is something obviously severe has happened to them because you have now inherited their spark. And in many cases, there is some kind of very light connection. So in the case of Case, sorry, pun intended, I guess, the previous god of cars was Eliza Knapp, who was actually the former driving and instructor at Case's high school. We're still a big giant couple of question marks when it comes to Judith Montoya, who is the previous goddess of Lake Michigan. But the last bit of information that was known was basically there was like a building that collapsed a couple of months back. It was really big news in Detroit because there were casualties involved. It was very mysterious. It looked like some kind of engineering structural accident. But basically, it's since that moment that these four people have disappeared. So now what our new gods are doing is going out and basically trying to figure out what happened to the old gods, fearing the worst at this point. And so what I would like for us to do is, let me just kind of see here. So basically at this point, based on the information that the both of you have on hand, where did the two of you want to start off first? Let's start with Cheyenne. What was the first thing that you were thinking? What direction did you want to head off into? Because you're working with a little bit more of a blank slate than some of the others.
I had actually sent off my people to do some research.
Yes, that is right. Let me double check my notes on that one. That's right. Yes. So there was going to be some information. So at the beginning of the next scene, which will be starting up, you'll be able to get one piece of information as a result of. And who exactly was it again that you asked for that?
I asked the journalism club at the college.
Right. Okay. So the journalism people. So in that particular case, then, did you want to start by actually going to the college and meeting up with them, or is this the kind of thing that maybe could just be done over the phone, leaving you free to travel somewhere else?
I think this could probably be something that could be done over the phone, because if there's something that personally affects me, I don't want them to see it, because I don't want them to know what's going on.
Okay, if you suddenly start growing gills, you want to be able to keep that a secret. Okay, perfect. Case, where were you thinking ahead? If I remember correctly, I believe you were thinking about heading back over towards the school, or trying to poke around at what happened with Eliza Knapp.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I know she went on sabbatical, but I don't know too much more beyond that. So I thought that might be a good place to start asking around.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little screen sharing here, and I'm going to bring up, boom, 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 here we go. Can everyone see the territory map?
Yep.
All right, so I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit from last time so that our new gods, their names are specifically marked as the initials, big letters in there. I've also added the +1 bonuses and listed that. It's fairly spread out as you can see from this, the area that's getting close to around the beach, and this is something that we're really gonna start to kind of lean on, is where there's like +2 bonuses in that corner there for your Pantheon. But otherwise, and then there's a couple of other locations that have already been kind of built into the story, or are basically, I can tell you right now, are going to be important stories. Obviously, that's one of the things with having a pre-existing territory map, is there's a couple of mild spoilers ahead. So anyways, so you're thinking about heading off to the high school, and I believe that we had already established that as being Lincoln Falls High School, actually, which is location 1, which is over here on 8-9. And then, sorry, with Cheyenne. So were the two of you? Would this be something the two of you would maybe go off and do together, or is this something where Cheyenne, you could see yourself going somewhere else for some additional investigation when your journalism comrades call?
I would actually wait to see what happens with the phone call before I make the decision as to whether I would go or not.
Okay. So in the meantime, would you possibly be traveling with Case? I'm just trying to set up what we'll specifically be doing in this first scene.
Yes, I would be traveling with Case at that point.
Okay, cool. So having everybody travel. Now, where we left off was at location 6, which is at the diner/car show, the Detroit car show area. That is located on 9-7. Now, all right, so does that sound good to everybody for our first scene, and then we'll take it from there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So that means then, because we're starting a new scene, everybody has to spend a point of free time.
So, so 1 point for, so 1 point free time. And did our free time reset or did not reset from last?
Does not.
No, it does not reset from last time.
Gotcha.
And on that note, that does remind me about the Pantheon pool, which we are going with our own kind of home rule, that instead of resetting every single session, and because you're a new Pantheon, the Pantheon pool started from 0 and is going to be just building up continuously. It doesn't reset every session. And right now there's just 1 point in the Pantheon pool.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, reaching the high school is actually going to be relatively easy, because you that's going to cover within, like, you get up to 4 points of movement before you have to start paying for it. How will you be getting from the diner to the high school? I'm assuming Case would be driving.
I would assume correctly.
And what is it you're driving right now?
I think we're driving. I think we're just driving something nice that has a little oomph, but nothing too tricked out. So, like, just a nice sedan.
Okay. Is this the car that you're regularly driving at the moment?
Yeah, I think this is my regular. I think this is my car. So this is like a Hyundai or something. Like, this is nothing too special. Although I think, because I do have shaping that, like, it's probably nicer than it used to be.
Okay. In the time that you started to discover basically your newfound divinity, has Case actually been kind of doing some work on the car that's made like some sudden and significant improvements? Like where all of a sudden you started to you just had the sense that there was something up with the brakes, or something else mechanical that I don't understand, and it could be adjusted, and it just led to this significant improvement in the car. Like, does the car in the last few weeks now behave better than it did before?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. Like, I think that it's just subtly, like unconsciously, I've been shaping it. So it just went from being like a used car that I bought to back to like factory new.
Nice. Okay, cool. As you, the two of you are starting to get towards the car, so you've all decided to go your own separate ways, and Molly and Javier, they go their own. The two of you are the first ones to basically walk out of the diner at this point. And as you start making your way to the car, Case, your cell phone rings. And when you take a look at it, you see that it's like it's a phone call that you don't want to take at this point. Like, this is the worst possible time for this person to call. Who would that be?
Good question.
Would
Who?
would you have a boss as like, because you're also a kind of like Uber driver, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a what you call it? I'm like a Grubhub driver.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So would you have a boss in that case? Says the guy who lives in the country and doesn't have this kind of service
Yeah,
available.
no, I just like log in for that job. That's why I have like no money and all like a ton of free time because like nobody keeps track of me. Um,
Okay.
so I think this is like family, right? Like
Ah.
I think if this is going to be a pain, it's a family member who needs something because I'm
Okay.
not going to turn them down.
Okay. So, do you answer the phone? And if not, what is the name we specifically see that you're trying to avoid?
So I think I do answer it because it's my mom,
Gotcha.
right? The phone just says mom.
Okay. And so when you go and you pick up the phone, your mom
Hi,
is,
mom.
yeah. Hello, are you making it home for dinner tonight?
No, I'm gonna stay out for a bit and pick up a few more runs.
Your
I
cousin Cheryl is here. She flew all the way in from Los Angeles. I think it would be nice if you at least came to pay her a visit.
I don't think I remembered anyone telling me Cheryl was coming in. Look,
Your father sent a text.
I don't know if Dad sent it to the right place. He's really bad with text. But let me.
Hold on. Let me check with him.
Okay, Mom, go ahead. You check.
Philip, did you send the text to Case? Your father says he sent the text to you. You should have it.
All right, I'm gonna look, Mom. But my phone's going because I'm gonna pick up a few runs. But what time is she staying till? I'll make it by.
She's only here for the evening, and then they're going to start to make a drive. They want to go and see New York.
Okay, sounds good. I'll make a few runs and then I'll swing by the house and say quick hi. Like I gotta get some money together.
Don't disappoint me this time. Don't disappoint me this time like you did every other time.
No, why would I do that, Mom? Why would I do that? Of course, I love seeing the family. I love it. It's my favorite.
Okay, love you, darling. Bye.
Okay, bye.
So this has all been going on. Cheyenne, what you get a text message on your phone, and it's not the journalism students at this point. Who is it that you very much want to talk to right now, but maybe feel a little uncomfortable doing so in front of Case? Is it one of your bonds, for example? Although really your bonds, the only other bonds you have are your fellow students. Okay, so,
No, no, the bonds, yeah, that would be the students. Probably like my boyfriend.
And what's his name?
We'll go with Luke.
Luke, very nice. And what does the text say?
Got plans for dinner?
And how do you respond? Do you even respond? Let's put it this way. It's like at this particular moment, do you just kind of, put the phone back in your pocket, or do you send back at least a little something?
I'm going to send back just investigating something, might be busy.
Oh, okay. And then is this the kind of thing that should be the norm? Like basically Luke should expect this kind of response and then he can just kind of shrug it off? Or has there maybe been a little tension in the relationship because you've really been diving hard into your investigative work and your schoolwork and everything like that, and maybe Luke feels that it's been costing the two of you a little time together?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably going to be a little bit of like time jealousy going on.
Okay. So then there's a couple of question marks that get text back, and then there's a frowny face and then an angry face. And then there's nothing else that comes back. Like, that's where he ends it. That's where he leaves it.
Okay.
There.
I'm going to send him just like a
little shrug emoticon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so with those until we are now free to basically carry on over towards the college. Like I said, that's going to fall. That's basically, well, let me see here. That's technically going to be moving 3 dots here. So you've got 4 dots that are available to you for free until you got to start paying for them. So yeah, so basically moving over towards the college, you'll be able to get there in like, very little time whatsoever.
Yeah, I know where we're going.
Yeah, exactly. And even then too, Case, as you're going, you're kind of, like you're driving around trying to find this route there. There is a part where, because it started to become like, first of all, the auto show is in town, and that always makes traffic ridiculous. The most usual routes are the ones that GPS always locate people to. And, sure enough, like the main routes are going to be busy. How do you find a better route to the college?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's not my first rodeo. Driven downtown tons of times, so I
Right.
am no slouch when it comes to getting around. But I'm curious if I can't actually, like, now understanding I'm the god of cars, if I can't actually push this a little. Like,
All right.
can I make the car kind of, can I make the car kind of do a little bit more?
Yeah, well, let's find out. So would you like to make a roll for that?
I think I would. I think I'd
All
like
right.
to. I think I'd
All
like
right.
to journey.
Oh, very good. And it almost kind of feels like knowledge is a good skill to fall on for this one too, because your pre-existing knowledge firsthand from actually driving these roads. So yeah, let's give it a.
Actually, can
Oh,
I can I change it and go with perception so that I can kind of see how the traffic's going and just kind of, dart through and hit hit the right timing on all the lights?
yeah. Okay, let's go for it. Perception plus journey.
Okay, that'll be a much better roll for me.
There you go. And I'm just going to set it down to just like a difficulty of 1.
Okay. All right. So my journey is 3. My perception is 3. Give this a little roll. All right, and I'm looking for. Well, I got some good numbers here.
Yeah.
What am I looking? Remind me what I'm looking for.
You're basically looking for 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Woof.
And tens will be doubles.
Well, then we got lots. 1,
Woohoo.
2, 3, and a 10 makes 5.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's just take a little looky here on the kind of things you can do with that, because I have a feeling that you could actually pass some of that over and do many, many things with it. My goodness. Did you, well, first of all, do you want to take 3 of those and put them into the Pantheon pool? So that will put it at 2 points in the Pantheon pool.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I mean, we're like in an abundance of success for driving to the school, so
Okay.
let's make that Pantheon pool light up a bit.
Alrighty then. So you're also gonna have. Well, let's see there. Yeah. So with 2, that's not enough to really get like a boost or anything like that. But here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this as a favor to you. What I'm gonna say is that instead of actually costing like 3 points of movement, I'm gonna say you're able to get there and find like these shortcuts going through back alleys. So remember when you listed Baby Driver as like your movie reference of how you see Case driving?
Right.
That's literally the opening sequence is how I'm seeing this play out, where it's like you come to a set of lights and you look around, you see all the traffic and everything that's backing up. You also see that there are these buses. There's also too like the transport trailers that are there like delivering and taking away cars. That's even slowing down the traffic even more. And it's at this point that you just see that there's this tiny little opening that's like between a few of these trucks going across 3 lanes of traffic. And there's an alleyway on the other side. And just all of a sudden, there is this total moment where the revving of the engine of your car is in sync. And you can feel the revving of the engine of all the other cars. You know exactly what gear that they're actually in at the moment. It's almost like you can feel this connection to all these other vehicles. And you take this opportunity and you speed through. And Cheyenne, when he does, it's almost like you almost like kind of grab the handrail that's up above, and your head almost like hits the back of the seat and the passenger seat as he just like races through it like 50 miles an hour and doesn't even so much as like scratch an edge off of this thing, and just like, you know, it just almost like volleys right through this alleyway and just dodging all these little bits of garbage bins and everything like that. And in no time, basically comes out into this side street that ends up connecting, you know, it goes behind some of the dorm buildings that are at the college. And next thing you know, you're there. There is not a scratch on the car whatsoever. And even the way that Case parks in the parking space, it's like this 180-degree spin slide that just is perfectly into place. And then it's just a matter of, then it's done. Case just turns the keys off, you know, takes them out of the ignition and everything, and turns and looks at you. And Case, what do you say to this frazzled-looking Cheyenne who's sitting next to you?
We're here. I found a shortcut. It's really wild.
So,
I didn't. It's really wild. Like I'm starting to feel the flow of cars, like in a way that I can kind of see when the ebbs and flows of traffic. And
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable right now.
yeah, I'm gonna have to tell people to. I'm gonna have to warn people about that. Sorry, I didn't really think that was gonna kind of go that way, but we're here.
You get one, I'll get one later. How's that?
now, while this is happening, Case, you look down, and I'm assuming that you've got, like, you know, some kind of beverage or something like that you would keep in the car. What would that be? Would it be an energy drink or just like a bottle of water?
Yeah, I totally think it's an energy drink. I mean, like I'm like 20 something, so you know I still have all my liver to expend. So yeah, I'm drinking some sort of like 5 times caffeine energy drink or something.
Okay. But as the main ingredient, that I'm sure would be, or let's hope the primary ingredient, if not maybe the second or third ingredient, is water. Cheyenne, what happens? What's going on with that energy drink? You know, that would almost kind of like personify your stress level at the moment.
You know, like the slow motion Terminator crawl away. That's what the water's trying to do in there. It's like seeping out the side and like trying to crawl across the carpeting in the car.
So it's actually taking on like an animated life of its own, like it's trying to get out. Okay.
Yeah.
So then as you go and you open the door and, you know, like, and put yourself on stable ground, we just see this little Gatorade man just come literally like flopping out and just lands onto the concrete of the high school parking lot and just starts crawling away. Like, we don't see any legs on it. It's just like, it's just leaving a trail of Gatorade behind it. And then eventually it just kind of dissipates into nothing. And then it's just kind of gone.
I think I go to take a sip and like it's empty, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I shake it like thinking, I'm pretty sure I left like a whole one in here. Huh.
Yeah, and it's like one of those big kind of almost like 2-liter bottle size ones, you know. Yeah. Okay, so you're here at the high school. This is Lincoln Heights High School. Is this a high school that you do? Well, we already would have established actually that Case would have gone here before. Cheyenne, would you have gone to this high school before too? Or were you from, you know, like that other school that had like a really good, like, you know, creative arts program on the other side, whereas this one's a little bit more like the technical school maybe?
Yeah, she would have been a creative arts student.
Okay.
Most definitely.
So you would have gone to the high school that actually had like the theater room with an actual stage and actual seats, whereas Lincoln Heights is the one where they take the gym and then they pull out all the chairs and everything else like that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We got beat by their football team all the time.
Yes, but your improv club always kicked ass.
Yes.
Okay. Case, what is there about the high school that's changed since you were here? It's only been a couple years, but what's changed already about about school?
Oh, I think that they've I think because it's a tech school, but they've expanded like their vocational training as well. So there's like another building now that has some more, like more hands-on. Like it used to be like just woodworking, but I think what I feel is they've got a couple of like garage bays in there.
Oh, okay, yeah. And you know what, too? I accidentally called it Lincoln Heights. That's my former school. And yeah, and it is that kind of school, but we'll go back to calling it Lincoln Falls. There we go. That's just my past coming back to haunt me. Okay, so where do the two of you want to start? Actually, because Cheyenne had a couple of bonds with this, let's have this be in the moment when the cell phone rings, where it's one of your journalism friends. They're finally calling back.
Okay, cool.
What's this person's name? Give me a name of this particular student.
Royce.
Royce? Wow, that really sounds like the name of a journalism student, actually. My apologies to all the journalism students out there named Royce. You have my sympathies. Okay, so it's Royce, and as soon as you go and pick up the phone, there's just like, the little casual greetings. Do you put Royce on speakerphone, or do you just keep this to yourself, and then we'll share with Case whatever you want?
No, I'm gonna put it on speakerphone for now.
Okay.
As long as nobody else is around. Like, I'm gonna take a look and quick eye up and see if there's anyone within earshot. If they are, then I'll hold it up to my ear. Yeah,
you're still in the parking lot at this point, and it's like school has pretty much gotten out, but it's kind of like 4:30 to 5, so there's still football practice that's going on in the field. And there are still kind of a few students. There's a couple of cars, possibly for some of the teachers. Based on the condition of the cars, more than likely it's for the teachers, because they're not nice cars. Yeah, so you've got a little bit of space where you've got some privacy around here, not a problem.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you go and you put Royce on the speakerphone. There's the quick little, greetings and everything else like this. And then after a while, it doesn't take Royce very long to get down to business. And he basically kind of tells you that they started poking around, and they were surprised. They actually had to do a fair bit of digging into trying to see what the state of the investigation was, because when the news first broke, it was the big shock. And there were rumors and everything like that, that the landlord company was going to be under investigation, but nothing has really come out since. Royce tells you that they actually really had to dig and poke around for a while, and even make a few phone calls to some of the people they know, because some of the students at your college will work at like City Hall. So they've had to call in a couple of favors from, it's almost kind of like this underground college network, so to speak. Everyone's got a part-time job or some kind of co-op placement somewhere important in the city, and they become a valuable resource. And what Royce and the team have basically been able to find out is that everything has come through clean. The landlord company had all the inspections, and everything were completely up to date. They passed everything, not necessarily with flying colors, but there was absolutely no reason or indication that this kind of thing would happen. And if anything, they have actually they have called in some other major engineering firms. They have also started calling in. I don't know what the department would necessarily be in the States, but basically it's almost kind of like they've even brought in a couple of people from like the U.S. Corps of Engineers, where it's basically like, we have no idea why this building has collapsed. So there has been a string of meetings that have been taking place at City Hall to try and get to the bottom of this. And without any information to share with the public, they've basically just kind of been keeping things quiet. And the shock has passed and everything else like this, and they've moved on. But Roy says, but that's not everything. They have actually found a total of 3 unidentified bodies, and they're still in the morgue. And he's like, that's what we've been able to find out. He's like, and Roy says, it's weird. I've never seen anything like this. They've got nothing at this point, and they are trying desperately to try and get some kind of an answer what's going on, because this apartment was in, it was like all of these kind of apartments that were built up after World War II. And there's just blocks upon blocks of this. And there's a lot of concern that if this happened to this building, is it going to happen to some other one? Royce even tells you that there's been some word that Homeland Security was even called in to take a look, just in case it was some form of deliberate terrorism of some kind. Like they are literally pulling out all possible straws to figure this out.
Okay. If there's any public meetings on this, let me know.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll keep tabs on the stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. I may call on you for further investigation.
Not a problem. I'll be here. I got to get this report done anyway. So, and then he starts to kind of rhyme off the additional homework, because that's what you students have to do. You've got the actual journalism work you're doing, plus you've got your other assignments you got to keep up on. So,
yep.
There. Yeah, so that's what Royce gives you at this point.
Thank you.
So, where do the two of you want to go from here? Case, this being your former high school, it kind of seems like you would know your way around campus. Where do you guys want to get started?
Yeah, so I think we want to find Mr. Rudolph, my physics teacher, who was like my best teacher. So, like that's the teacher I was closest to in high school. Like I really had a thing for physics, and kind of dug it. So, if anyone's going to recognize me and anybody I'm going to be able to talk to, it'll be Mr. Rudolph.
Okay. So you may have actually, like he may have been the teacher you connected with the most and have the most respect for, but what was your grade in his class?
I think I was probably just like above average. Like I don't think I was anything exceptional. I don't have any points in knowledge, so
okay.
I'm definitely not a strong student.
So maybe like on average you're a C+ student maybe then?
Yeah, but physics I like really got, because physics is all machines, and machines is all cars.
Ah, okay. So all right, there we go. All right. Well, considering the fact that there are still some teacher cars in the parking lot and everything else like this, it does seem to make sense that the God of Cars would try to see if Mr. Rudolph was still around based on the car.
Yes.
So, how do you want to go about doing that? I once again, I feel a dice roll coming on.
Okay, so I think this one's going to be a little harder.
Yeah, because right away when you take a look, you don't actually see Mr. Rudolph's car that you remember. But that was maybe, like, even if you graduated 2 years ago, it's maybe been 3 years since you've actually taken class with them.
Right.
And that's like a lease period right there.
Okay, so I think that I don't think I have a manifestation specifically for this, because I don't have Oracle or anything like that where I can look through.
Okay.
But I do have some intuition.
Yep.
And I do have the blessing of Call Me Master, so +2 to checks when interacting with my domain. So if we're looking for a car, and I got to guess which one of these cars might be the physics teacher's car, I think that's where I'm going. Like I'm going with intuition about what I know about cars.
Yeah, okay. And with that, then it feels like, because, walking around and everything, it feels like just even perception plus intuition should do it.
Okay. So perception I am actually good at.
And I'm going to say that this one's going to be like a difficulty level 2, because you don't know what car Mr. Rudolph's driving right now.
Perception, intuition, and then pick up 2 more because we're dealing in cars. Okay. Alrighty. That's that. Okay. I have just 2 successes, no 10s.
2 successes. Sorry, say that again?
Just 2 successes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually just enough to do the trick. You're looking around at the lot, and even then too, you kind of take a look, and the painting lines and everything, they've been updated, and it looks like they've added some new spots, so the numbers have changed. But you look over, and there's this one car, and it actually looks like a fairly new car, but you notice that there is an oil stain that's a fairly significant oil stain. And that's something that used to happen to Mr. Rudolph's previous car, because he's got a really bad habit of how he takes care of it. And just right away, your intuition says, that's his car right there. He still hasn't learned to do the such and such.
Still not taking still not getting his regular maintenances on these cars.
Yeah. So that Mr. Rudolph is still here. And then, from that, it should be fairly easy to find him, because where the old physics room and stuff like this. It's not a classroom that they can just pack up and move around.
Yeah.
So as you go inside, you start taking a look. There's a little bit of nostalgia that kind of hits, Of course, this is the first time you've really seen the hallways have vacant, because Case doesn't strike me as someone who stuck around for after corrector activities. Basically, the bell rang, Case was gone.
Right.
This is how I almost kind of see it. But yeah, it doesn't take long. You go back into the old physics classroom, and there's Mr. Rudolph actually just packing stuff up and putting it into like an attaché case, like one of those old school attaché cases.
Right.
Yeah. And it's when he looks up and he sees you, and he actually just says, and sorry, what is your last name? Would he call you by your first name, or would he call you
I think it's Bannon, Mr. Bannon, right?
Mr. Bannon. So he looks over towards you and just kind of squints for a moment and says, Mr. Bannon, is that you? And he's got a little smirk on his face.
It is. Is that your car leaking oil out in the parking lot?
What, it's leaking? And he kind of goes to look out towards the window. He's got a bit of a view of the parking lot, and he just kind of looks over at you, and he's almost got this, it's almost this look of, I can't believe you remembered that. But he says, yeah, you know me. I just never really get around to taking care of these kind of things. I don't understand cars. That's just how it goes. What can I do for you? Come on in. Who's your friend?
Oh, yeah, please. Sure. Come in, and this is we just it's funny, but this is Cheyenne, friend of mine that I just met recently. But
okay.
But I wanted to stop by. We were just out running some errands, and I was wondering if you knew where Mrs. Knapp is. Like, I wanted to talk to her about the driver's ed program coming up this summer, and I wanted to see if she needed any help or anything, part-time help or whatever. And when I called to inquire about it, I found out she was on sabbatical.
He stops and he's thinking for a moment. He's like, yeah, Eliza. Yeah, it was weird. I don't exactly know what happened. I wasn't there for it, but I mean, there's been some rumor, and he's almost a little kind of reluctant to start getting into another teacher's personal history with a former student. You know what I mean? Like, you haven't necessarily been gone that long that he still looks at you as being a student. So you can see this kind of reluctance. Cheyenne, do your reporter kind of instincts kick in at this point?
Yeah, I think they would. She's sensing that he's holding back.
All right. So what would you like to try and do about that? And Case, that opens the door for you too. What do you want to try and do to kind of, get him to open up a little bit more?
Let's see.
I would actually try to kind of take over from a reporter's perspective, and be rather matter of fact about it, and see, and instead of personal, to see if maybe like presenting just he's just wanting to help, and we, we just want to make sure that everything is okay and follow up with maybe a previous conversation that had happened.
Okay. I want to know, when you start to do this, when you speak up, do you do anything to kind of identify yourself as a journalist or a journalism student? Or do you just kind of try and go into these questions a little bit more casually? Because what I'm wondering is that for a role, if you were to kind of come out and just kind of say that you're actually a reporter, then that could be influence, basically trying to kind of use your position, even as a journalism student. Like if someone walks up to you and says, "Hi, I'm for such and such of a paper," right away that they're trying to use some kind of an influence on, versus otherwise just using more of like a charm, or just like your overall personality.
No, she would definitely use her influence as a reporter, and she actually has a blessing for that too. So.
All right. So there we go. So that's something that Cheyenne can do. Case, what is something that that you would like to try and do?
Yeah.
No,
I think I'm gonna donate to the Pantheon dice by letting one of my curses kick in.
Ooh, which one?
Which is bored now. Like I'm just gonna start, like I just like wander over and start messing with like the physics toys. Like I'm not the reporter. I don't really know how to get answers out of people. And now that Cheyenne's talking to him, like I'm just like, ooh, like, ooh, the little flippy physics toy thing. So like I just like wander over and start messing with the physics toy.
Okay. All right. Cool. So while that's going on, and I think I know that something that will happen if a natural one. Well, not necessarily a natural one, but if we really get like I think we got some good things for a critical failure if that happens. Okay. So Cheyenne, what would you like to roll for that then? It definitely sounds that you said you definitely
influence, and I'd like to use my blessing Omega rules.
Oh yes, okay. There we go.
So I don't really have any manifestations or anything that apply for this. So.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking influence plus even too, yeah, your intuition, you did say it's like right away that's telling you he's keeping something. So
and her intuition is really high. So
yeah, there you go. All right. Let those dice fly.
All right. It's 8, 9, and 10, right? For success.
Yes, actually. Wow, I can't believe I'm forgetting this absolute fundamental key feature of the game. Because for some reason I was thinking it was 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Okay, because it that will depend on. I can't remember.
Wow. Sorry, Aloy.
So Aloy gets for not being on tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Aloy. No, I had to figure out the game for myself like some kind of game master.
It's exactly how you game master.
It's 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s counts as doubles.
Okay, 7, 8s, and 9s, so I got 2 successes then.
All right. Okay, so that's good. Yeah. So what specifically do you say, and what are the kind of questions that you throw out at him again?
Okay, so I am going to go from mainly starting off as a how he was connected with her through the school, like if they did any sort of meetings together or had any sort of professional learning communities together, or anything like that, that he would know her a little bit better, or if he was strictly professional and didn't really get to know her very well, and then move on from there depending on where he falls on that.
Okay. So yeah, as soon as you just kind of, jump in, and it doesn't take him long to know that you're not just, a super curious person. And you do kind of see like his guard does come up a little bit. But then at the same time, too, he just kind of takes it as, like, well, not all teachers, hang out together. We don't have a lot of activities or that kind of thing. I mean, she wasn't someone that I necessarily, socialized with too much. Like the driver's ed students, or sorry, the driver's ed teachers, they're not here 5 days a week like we are in the science department. So she was here on a part-time basis. All I just know is the rumors that I've heard in the teachers' lounge. So, and he kind of cuts in with, and I'm sorry, and you are again?
Hi, I'm Cheyenne.
Nice to meet you. And he goes and he kind of shakes your hand and
Yeah.
then looks over towards Case, who's, like fidgeting around with like some of there's like one of those molecule models that's in the back, the kind that can easily like break apart into a bunch of different pieces. And, he's just watching Case at this moment, who so far doesn't look too disruptive over there. And he said, like, what exactly is this all about? Is there any particular reason why you're looking for it? Because it's been a while. It's actually been like about last one I heard, it was maybe about like 6 months or so ago when she basically went on this sabbatical.
Okay. I guess Case is just kind of concerned because he also hasn't heard from her in about 6 months as well. And I know that she was one of his favorite teachers. So, I mean, and he kind of did keep in touch with her after he graduated. So for her to just kind of drop off like that suddenly, he's just concerned. That's all.
Yeah, okay. Well, you could always just kind of go down and check over in the office and see if she left any kind of forwarding information, but that's not the kind of thing that just gets handed out. So if anything, they could tell you if they've heard anything, if she's working somewhere else. I mean, I've heard some rumors that that she was actually looking at getting out of teaching altogether, but maybe over the office they've heard something about it. That's the best I can help you with. And even then kind of starts to direct some of that over kind of towards Case at this point.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's kind of been taking off. He's been put off a little bit by all of a sudden this, and especially too because this is a new friend, who is just like, it's like, yeah, okay, sure. Anyways, Case, like you could always just kind of go and check down over by the office and, I'm sure they'll be able to help you out with something.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. And
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Do you want to actually just kind of put it back on the shelf with two hands, please?
Yeah. No, sorry about that. I always loved this thing. This thing always fascinated me in class. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, it was good to see you, but I'm gonna start heading home. I gotta get some chicken in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, here's an address. Like you should take your car to this place. It's called Max Garage. Like you just tell them I sent you. They'll make sure that car's running in tip-top shape.
Yeah. Okay. Gives you like there's a little really satisfied grin on his face, but he says to you is like, so what are you up to right now? Are you working at the garage right now?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm hoping to get a position there shortly. But I kind of help out around there, and in the meantime, doing a lot of self-teaching on automobiles. Like, kind of just been working, tuning up cars, and tricking them out and stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that. And kind of leaves it at that. And then he walks out. You almost kind of get there's a little bit of this impression of just be like, someone with your talents, shouldn't have any trouble. Like you should have a job already. There's almost this kind of like, teacher disappointment,
Yes.
that you're left with as he turns and he walks down the hall.
Yes, regular full-time jobs is an illusion. Like that's
Yeah, and like self-teaching and everything like that, are kind of the buzzwords that they pick up on quite a bit. When they run into former students at the beer store.
Yes. By the way, Max Garage is my Max Garage are my worshippers.
Yes, that's right. So they could do with the referral.
Yeah, they'll take care of that car.
Okay, so now what do you want to do? Head down to the office, or is there anything else you want to do while we're here?
Yeah, we should head to the office. I'm Cheyenne, I'm kind of not great with like people. I mean, I guess I'm all right.
No.
I mean, it's good you're here. I'm not sure exactly not sure exactly what I would have done. Like I don't know. I think I could have just asked some questions or something, but I'm not super persuasive or anything. I guess you've already seen where I really shine. So
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, then I'm going to say that when you get down to the office, you actually notice that it's closed and locked up. So there's kind of like that large counter area where basically receptionists or secretaries or whatever, that's what they were called back in my day. I have no idea what they would be called today. I have just dated myself exponentially. But basically,
They're
there
so
we
office administrators. Sorry.
boom, there we go. There's the actual title. So where they would normally be working to talk with students, and there would be kind of like the sign out book and everything else like that. All that, there's a big partition that's actually closed down in front of it. So the office is actually closed right now. What will you do?
I look around. Is there anybody around?
You look and actually towards the corner, so there's an area by a set of doors leading outside, and then it actually there's like a hallway that then turns over towards the left. And standing right there at that corner is like a young blonde teenage girl who is talking with like a much older woman. Like in her maybe like late 30s or early 40s. Very kind of, like large burly woman who's in like mechanics overalls. Other than that, and they're still kind of like a good maybe like 50 to 60 feet away. They're not looking in your direction. The two of them seem to be talking to each other, but other than that, there doesn't appear to be anyone else here.
You want to go talk to her before I break into the office?
I don't think. I mean, I like breaking in the office.
I'm not with her there.
You want me to distract her?
Why don't you go and distract her and go back to her office to talk?
Right. Yes. I totally get what you're going for. You want a distraction? I think I can get you a big enough distraction.
All right, so let's start with the distraction, and then that's going to determine how well Cheyenne is going to be able to break into this office. So let's see how this distraction plays out. How do you approach him?
All right, so I can't people, right? Like my people is bad, so I need a big enough distraction here. I'm just gonna set off all the car alarms in the parking lot.
Oh,
all of them. Just gonna set them all off so that like everybody goes and sees what's going on.
All righty then. All right, so let's do a dice roll for that because you're still new at this. It's quite possible things could get exponentially out of control.
Yep, definitely.
So let me see. Well, what's your impression? What would you like to roll on this?
So it's definitely. I think this is. I think this is shaping.
Definitely.
Okay, because I'm manipulating the shape of objects around me. So, all right. So it's definitely shaping, and then what to pair it with. I think that tech is probably the right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not my strongest, but
no, and that makes sense. Yeah, like that's the one that I was actually looking at right now.
Okay, so shaping and tech, and then because it's in the domain of cars, because I'm leaning into where I'm heavy, I'm picking up the +2. Yep. So I've got 4 dice.
Roll a Pantheon die.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Okay. And by the way, on the sheet it says 7 to 9 or 1 success.
Boom. There we go.
But these.
Oh my god, it's right there.
I noticed it just after you guys were talking about. I'm like, wait, no, it's 7 to 9. But I rolled a single 10, so that's 2 successes.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. So it definitely sets. It's definitely going to set the car alarm off. I was only going to have that as like a difficulty 1. Let me see here. You've got like that extra success that's on there. Would you like to use that to So like there's the cars that could be set off kind of like immediately. So like just outside those set of doors leading outside, there can be some cars parked out there. Would you like to use that extra success to increase the area affected? In which case, that would be one building.
Yeah.
So that would set off all the cars.
Yes.
Okay.
So So my distraction is I look at Cheyenne and I'm like, watch this. And I close my eyes for a second and then I like start walking towards the woman and I'm like, do you hear that? And before she can say what, like all of the car alarms go off.
Okay. Not only that, but the street outside the high school, the cars that are driving along there within radius of the building as they're driving past the high school, their car alarms start going off too. And then as soon as they're like outside of the range of the high school, so it's like it just the range that you emanate this, it just hits them. So like literally every car that falls within that radius, their car alarm is starting to go off.
I look at Cheyenne and I'm like, it's like, this is crazy. And I just like immediately like run out with her. Like, wow, what could have done that? Like,
now, sorry, did you say something to either one of these women before you set these alarm off?
I did. I said, did you hear that?
So when this happens, the blonde who is dressed like a cheerleader, like literally the stereotypical cheerleader. In fact, I think we could even go so far as to say the actress who played the cheerleader on Heroes is standing in front of you right now. And she just kind of goes and she looks around and she like, it's almost just kind of like a, what's going on? But, you know, she doesn't say that with a lot of kind of like, you know, oh, what's going on? It's just like, well, what is that now? But you notice right away the other woman, the one who's dressed in the mechanic's overalls, she goes and she looks out the window, but she turns and she stops and then she almost kind of makes like, almost like a real dead eye stare at you. And she pulls out a little vape pen and she just kind of, you know, sticks it in her mouth a little bit. And she just, there's something about it. She's giving you like this really kind of evil eye at this moment that is making you feel like your skin's crawling.
Oh, yikes.
Yes. And, you know, so now that this has happened, so all these alarms are going, everything are going off. The cheerleader is distracted and this other woman is staring at you. What do you want to try and do at this moment? Because this is this awkward thing that's going on where it's just like, you kind of feel like you either need to say something or what do you do at this point?
Do I, is that your car alarm I hear?
And she's just like with the vape pen in her mouth, like, nope, I don't have one in my car.
Huh.
And she just kind of blows out kind of like this puff of vape smoke. You know, she's just, everything about her is almost like her the way that she's holding this. Nope. You know, almost kind of Clint Eastwood.
Right. We well, I don't, you know, sometimes like seismic events set you know, multiple car alarms off. You know, probably not safe to stay next to all this glass. We should probably just move down a bit. Could be an earthquake.
Uh-huh. And then she just kind of, you know, turns and gets the cheerleader's attention and they go and they start, you know, like moving down the hall. And it's just one of these weird moments of just like, okay.
Oof.
Like if this was just somebody that, if an incident that just happened on the bus and you weren't already going through some weird shit, this would be the kind of thing that you would just vent to friends about over pizza. Just be like, there's this like, you know, strange woman that just like stared at me and treated me like Clint Eastwood, you know, like what? It's fucking weird, you know? So anyways, but as it stands, they've now gone down the hallway. So Cheyenne, that's your cue.
Yeah. All right. I am going to, add a little bit of my ruin and try to pop a lock in for the door handle.
Oh, so as the goddess of Lake Michigan, how would we see this manifestation take form right now?
Probably a little bit of sand would come out of the lock. as I'm to grind it out.
Okay. All right. Nice. I like it. And what skill shall do you want to roll with that? I'm almost feeling like tech is also appropriate too, because it involves actually like you're trying to actually pick a lock from inside it. So having some kind of a knowledge of how it works. But I'm always negotiable. If there was another skill that you think might work.
I was thinking tech as well.
Yeah.
Just because it's not high tech, but it's still
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So tech and ruin. And I'm actually going to say that under the circumstances, this is actually going to be a difficulty 3 because you're not using any tools. You're still really new to your abilities and everything at this point too. Okay. What I will though say is that if you can find a way to like actively incorporate water into this, so it's kind of like, you know, using like even just like a bottle of water or some kind of thing like this, I will give you a +1 to that roll.
Oh, the water fountain.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go to the water fountain and dip my hand into the water and kind of try to scoop enough up so that I can throw it into the lock.
Nice. And then almost kind of like use that to get in and kind of, you know, work its way through.
My way around through the water.
Cool. Cool. Give yourself a +1 bonus.
All right. Oh, goodness.
I'm going to drink some water and try and get my grasp of the English language back.
2.
Oh, not quite enough. So as you go and, you know, you do this and you actually kind of take some of the water and you like kind of lift it up and it actually gets sucked into the lock. And you start trying to kind of almost like control it to manipulate it. But it's one of those things where after a while, you actually do kind of see the knob actually jiggling a little bit. And then eventually the water just kind of seeps out to the side or seeps out the keyhole and everything like that. It's like, I didn't quite have it. Something's missing. You're not quite there yet.
All right. Then I'm going to try just do smash and grab and use might.
Yeah, alrighty then.
Just kind of hope it.
So would it be a might and ruin? Do you want to keep a manifestation going on that one?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the manifestation going on that one.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
One, 2, 3, 4.
Boom. There we go. That's going to do it. So that is definitely going to pick the lock with your other success there. What did you want to use that towards? Did you, let me see on here. Let's see. There's no range, no triggers or anything else like this. Here's something that could happen. If you wanted to, you could have that extra point of success be in a way that you were able to get the door open, but it's not busted. You know, like you could then go and close the door back up again and no one would be the wiser.
Yes, we'll do that.
All right, cool. So it's with that, the door to the office and everything is now open. And Case, do you come running inside? Or are you going to play lookout?
I should play lookout.
Okay, so Case will stay outside. So Cheyenne, it's all on you at this point. When you get inside, it's the lights and everything are off, but there's still a fair amount of sunlight that's coming in through the blinds. So it's still quite easy to see. Where are you headed at this point? Where do you think you're going to be able to find this kind of information?
Is there a records room in this area?
There are several filing cabinets that are scattered around all over the place.
Okay.
But there are also various other kind of sub offices and that kind of thing. So the principal has their own office, the vice principal's offices. So there's quite a few filing cabinets around here. There is actually in this kind of open area where the office administrators work, there are actually quite a few filing cabinets, but there's also the desks with the computers.
We'll go into the large area and just scan over the paper filing cabinets and see if there's anything labeled teachers.
Okay. So tell you what, that's definitely going to need a roll. Give me a perception plus stealth. And let's just keep the difficulty at 1 at this point.
2, 3, 4. 4.
4? Oof. Well then, that definitely sounds like you're definitely getting a boost on that one. So what would you like to do with that boost? Do you want to add 1 to the Pantheon pool?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. So now that puts it at 3. Look at that. All this teamwork going on. Meanwhile, Javier and Molly, while they're driving around their side of Detroit, they're like, I don't know why, but I feel better about our odds. Okay, boom, there we go. So you go around and you do actually see that as you're going around on some of the desks, what catches your eye is that there's actually a folder on one of the desks, and it actually, let me see, what's it going to say at this point? You can see actually that there's a piece of paper that's just kind of sticking out from underneath the folder that's covering it up, and you actually see NAPP, kind of like in the top corner of a form, handwritten. And when you walk up to it and you pull the paper out, you do actually see that it is, it's a piece of paperwork that's basically just stating that this person, like, their bi-weekly like payments, their deposits that are made by the school board, this is basically a form to stop making those payments.
Oh. I am going to take a look at the name on the file.
Which name in particular? Like whoever it was that actually filled in this report?
No, the name of the person that it was for, pertaining to.
Oh, that it was for. So it's basically going towards the Treasury Department at the school board. And what it is that's basically, it's a form that's indicating the reason why the payments are to stop. And the reason why it's given is that basically just says missing - reasons unknown. So basically what happens is that she has gone missing, and they're basically just kind of going off the assumption that something has happened. She's gone AWOL. You know, they've basically kind of putting in this requisition to say, okay, well, you know, she's not showing up for work or any of this other kind of stuff, so we're just going to have to stop payments.
Then. All right. So whose account are they stopping payments on?
Eliza Knapp. And it gives, yes, and it does give a last known address.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of it with my phone.
Okay, good.
And then I'm going to slide it back in the spot that it was in the file.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull it all the way out. I'm assuming it was just, I pulled it out just enough to see. I could flip it open and then take a picture of it. Is there anything else pertaining to Eliza in there?
There's a few other kind of details and particulars. Most of it is just, just more of like bureaucratic process kind of stuff. So there will be, like specifically what it was that she did at the school, various other bits of information. When it comes to any other information about, additional phone numbers or other contacts or emergency contacts or anything else like this, you do actually see that NA is listed. It's like she had no one else that was supposed to contact her in the event of any kind of an emergency. She had no follow-through address. And when you look at it, there's actually another paper that's underneath, and it actually has almost kind of like these bullet point notes that were made. That basically is just be like, she was supposed to show up to work about 2 months ago. They give a very specific count. They give about 9 weeks ago, that she just stopped showing up to work. She hasn't answered any calls. And so at this point, that they are to assume that basically that she's officially quit her position.
Okay, I'm going to take photos of all of those too.
Okay. And everything else just seems to be simple bureaucratic stuff. It's just there because that's what the school board needs.
Yeah, okay. And then what I'm going to do is put it back in there, and then I'm going to take one last look around to see if there's anything else in here pertaining to her?
There doesn't appear to be. Everything else in here, everything else is basically, there's nothing visible that really kind of stands out.
Okay. So now that I'm done with her, I'm going to try to find Case's file.
Well then, go ahead and give me a roll for that. Let's do another perception and stealth, please.
All right.
Ooh. Sneaky, sneaky.
I'm a reporter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again.
4. Sorry, 4? Did you say 4?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, alrighty then. Well then. So
4,
it doesn't take you long because there is one of the file drawers. In fact, there's several of them that are listed, like recent graduates. And you're able to start taking a look and stuff like this, and you pull it out, and it doesn't take long because now that you've actually learned Case's last name, to actually look for Kay Bannon. And when you find it, Case, what are 3 interesting pieces of information that Cheyenne just found out about you? Because basically, let's use all 3 additional successes to find 3 interesting little facts about Case we didn't know before.
Let's see. So I've been in a few fights. Because I have a 4 in fighting. So I've been in a few fights in school. Let's see. If I am correct, the speed skill means I'm physically fast, right?
Yes.
So I was on the track team.
Nice.
And yeah, I have let's see. I think I've already established I have pretty average grades. So I think that the other thing about me is that my aside from the obvious classes like physics, mechanics and things like that, where I did exceedingly well, the other place I did really well was cooking.
I was just going to say, actually, if you were having trouble thinking of one, it's like, what is the one class you did exceptionally well in that just doesn't fit the mold we have?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the equivalent of home ec, like whatever that is, like I did really well at home ec.
Nice.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap a couple of pictures of that information too. And then on my phone, I'm going to move it to a file where it's not like the recent photos or in the regular photo bank. You'd actually have to go looking for it, if anything.
All righty then. So you're going to keep that a secret.
Yep.
It's doubtful I will be thinking through enough that I would have even thought you would have looked for my stuff.
Now, Case, in the hallway outside. First of all, are the car alarms still going off, or have they actually they have to come to a stop?
No, I think that's the thing that keeps the distraction going, is that like they're abnormally, like normally when they run out, they don't.
Okay. All right. So all this noise, this cacophony of car horns is still going on.
I kind of like it. Like it's, I like it, and they're all in sync, right? Like they're not like out of sync; they're all in sync. So like, it's starting to make some interesting harmonics, like as the different ones are combining. But I'm just like digging it.
Is there a song maybe that starts coming into your head? It's like, so for example, I used to have this job that when I would go back in the stock room and they would be like all like the 600 milliliter bottles that would be all stacked up, I'd go back there and after a while I'd start kind of playing and trying to figure out like, hey, these actually make like a pretty cool noise. And at one point I actually could play a certain song kind of drum solo style on these cases of Pepsi. Does that mood suddenly hit you? And does the car horn start to kind of take on the rhythm of one of your favorite songs?
Yeah, then I think it's Golden Earrings, Radar Love.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So we start to hear this from the cars that are outside, and from outside you see all these other passerby, and it's like, and all the football players outside, they've stopped, and some of the other students who are watching from the benches, they've got their phones out at this point, and they're actually recording this taking place. So while this is kind of going on, and you're kind of, grooving a little bit, maybe tapping your foot out in the hallway, that's when the cheerleader starts walking back around the corner. She's alone, but she's walking with like a lot of intent and purpose, almost directly towards you, Case. Right away, what is it you do?
I'm like, oh, were you able to turn your alarm off?
No, I didn't drive here. And then she stops, and now she's kind of giving you this look. And she stares you down for a couple of seconds, and then she says, "You're not a student here, are you?" And she's got just like the way she just kind of tilts her head and everything like that. It's like you're watching a live action performance of Mean Girls.
Former student, YouTube prank. My buddies are filming from across the street.
Cool. When she says it, it's not like a cool. It's more of like a cool, like with almost like this apathy that you just don't expect to see from a cheerleader. And then she just kind of goes and she just starts to leave, just kind of walks right past you and just kind of keeps going on. But then as she does, she just kind of turns and looks, and you see she just kind of pulls out her phone and starts sending a text, and then she's down another hallway and she's out of sight.
I'm going to send Cheyenne a message. I'm like, we've got to get out of here. Like, we're toward, like, it's time for us to split.
Okay. So, yes, is that what the two you're going to do? What do you want to do next?
I'm going to put the office back in order and head on out.
Okay. You're able to get out of the office, no problem. You close the door. You're able to kind of, move back out and, leave the building and start making your way back out towards Case's car. As you do notice that, like about, towards the other side of the parking lot, maybe 5 spaces down, you can see that there's this really beat up, and you can hear the engine running. And it's almost like, Crystal, have you ever seen the movie Uncle Buck?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so John Candy's character drives this old sedan that is just, when it idles, it's just like it sounds like the engine is about to fall out the bottom. And
I have a car like that.
Yes, and then about 5 to 10 seconds after the engine stops, it would just emit like this loud bang that just sounds like gunfire. It causes everybody to drop down. It's that car, and it's there. And there is somebody who's sitting in the car while it's idling, and it's not idling like, oh yeah, this is probably gone through and it's, passed its clean energy inspection. No, it's like emitting like a black smoke. It is like this dirty old rusty thing that looks like it shouldn't be able to run.
What's the license plate number?
Well, actually, from this angle and from this distance, it's a little kind of tricky to make out. Also, too, because it's not in great shape. It looks like it's got one of the original plates on it. So you will have to roll to find out. It's only difficulty 1, but it's definitely going to be perception. And I'm even going to say, unless you've got a manifestation that you want to use in here, I'm almost going to say deception, kind of like a corner of your eye thing.
Yeah, I don't really have a manifestation that fits, so.
Okay.
Five.
What?
Wow.
Wow, there's a lot of boosts going on tonight.
My
So,
must be, apparently.
wow, there we go. Okay, so first question, do you want to add 1 to the Pantheon pool?
Yes.
Alrighty then. So there's 3 that's going to go into that. I'm glad I brought a lot of Pantheon chips with me today because you're now at 4. Good job, everybody. And this is totally something for, for Molly and Javier to totally take advantage of. So when we all meet up again for part 3, it'll be like, how many Pantheon pool points do we have left? 2.
Nothing.
Yeah. So that still leaves you with this 1 extra success. And what I'm going to do for that is when you look at the plate and it's from an angle and it's very awkward, and it's even too like one of the older Detroit plates, you notice the plate number that's on it. And I don't know how Detroit plates. I don't even know how American license plates works. But basically, you
Letters,
see
numbers.
Yeah, so basically it's like
it's probably a classic plate, so it's blue.
right. Yeah. But if modern cars have like a 6-digit license plate, this one still only got 5. So it's an older plate. And but you do notice actually that there's like the renewal sticker in the corner that is like fresh and it's new. It's like this bright green sticker that just stands out like a sore thumb. So you notice is like, yeah, that this is like a car that is, it's like an old car that's still got its original plates, but it's got like a current owner. Yeah, so you're able to get the plate number.
All right, I'm gonna write that on a note on my phone.
Okay. Do you do that out in the open? Like you just kind of pull out your phone and start typing?
I'm gonna make it look like I'm texting somebody. Actually, I'll just text it to myself.
Okay. We're just writing this down. But the car doesn't seem to move. There's nothing else otherwise suspicious about it. What do the two of you do right now?
We should get out of here.
Yep, let's just keep walking.
Yep, grab my car and go.
All right. Where do you want to head to next?
Well, what did you find, Cheyenne?
I have her last known address.
All right.
They stopped payments for her leave. What was it? 2 months ago. Because of she's supposed to report back to work 2 months ago and never did. So, they stopped payments on her, but they said that she's missing. The official is unknown. Todd,
Yeah.
what did the document for her say that her official the official reason why they were stopping payment?
Basically just unknown, that she just stopped responding. She just stopped coming into work. Wasn't answering her phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, stop responding, unknown, reason unknown.
Yeah.
So, but we do have a last known address, so we can go there.
Yeah. I gotta stop by my house really quick. My mom, I need to see my cousin's in town, and I kind of like need to make an appearance. Like, do you want to just like come with me and just we can hang for a little bit? I'll do this thing, and I don't know, just like chill for a little bit, and then we could check out her. We could check out the last address.
Sure.
That's not weird, is it? Like, I know we just kind of met and stuff, and trust me when I tell you my mom's gonna take this all the wrong way. So I apologize in advance.
I'm kind of hoping that Cheyenne actually says, "Oh yeah, it's super weird, but sure."
Well, I mean, sure. I guess. I
mean, I could drop you off somewhere. Like, I could drop you off like a Starbucks or something. Or
no, it's fine. It's fine we can totally go hang out with your parents.
Okay, cool. Like, it's gonna be super weird. I'll just tell them we're friends, but my mom's never gonna believe that. So, don't sweat it. But it'll be weird. They're cool. I mean, they're like cool people, but they're parents. I can't. Well, whatever.
This will be hilarious. Why not?
Cool. I'm gonna not introduce you as the god of Lake Michigan, if that's cool. Like I'll just Cheyenne, just a friend I know.
Sure, you can.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Like, who are we gonna tell about that? Who would believe us?
They would probably think I'm a crazy person.
I mean, no weirder than me. So,
This is true. All right.
Alrighty then. So, well, you know what? Let's find out where Case's family live. Phil, why don't you go ahead and roll the 2d10 on there, and let's see where your home is.
7-3.
7-3. Oh my goodness, that's actually quite a ways. However, that's almost like dead set. It's very close to where Javier lives. And oh yeah, and actually that's almost right next to let me see. I think that's actually where Max's garage is, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope. Max's garage
What?
is 1-0.
1-0. I got 3-9. Oh yeah, the Ford Picante Avenue plant. The factory.
Oh. That is my 3-9 is my what you call it? That's my bond.
Oh, I see. Okay. And you know what, too? So I've got that wrong on the map. So I will make a note to fix that, and I will adjust that for next time. Because I've got it listed at 3-8. Okay. So I will fix that for next time. But anyway, still, that's actually in a somewhat familiar area to you, not too far from where Javier is, from where one of his location bonds is. So, but that's going to be a bit of a trip. So let's see. We're looking at 1, 2. That will use up the amount of free movement you have left over. So that's going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to leave 5 more movement spaces to get there. You're going to be driving, obviously,
Yep.
but it takes 1 point of free time for an additional 4 squares of travel.
So I'm gonna try using my my blessing road trip.
Okay.
So when passing between scenes, a success will reduce the free time by 1, and it says I think on a 10 I can pass it on to others. So
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let's give a roll and see what happens.
well, I have a 9, so
That's 1.
Yeah.
So there we go. So that's going to reduce it. So instead of costing 2 free time, that's going to cost you 1 free time to make that journey.
yep. Just hang on.
Yeah, that's right. And it's with that the car just like goes and starts squealing away. I think it's safe to say the car alarms have to basically stop as Case leaves the parking lot.
Yeah, I think as soon as I leave, they all stop.
Okay. What you don't
suspiciously all
Yeah.
stop.
What you don't see at first, but our audience sees, is that the beat up sedan, Uncle Buck's car, basically starts to drive out and starts to follow the two of you from a safe distance behind. Now, I'm just going to double check. Let's see what time we're looking at here. All right, so we're at 9:38. We're at an okay time. We could spend a little time doing the scene with Case's family. Or we can kind of do one of those. We'll do a bit of a star wipe, and when it comes to it's Case and Cheyenne leaving the house, it was clearly an odd experience, or it was, like uncomfortable, possibly for Case far more than Cheyenne. I almost see that the look you have on your face right now, Crystal, as the look that Cheyenne has walking out of there. So much dirt. So much dirt.
There'd be so much dirt, but she would totally play up the, oh no, we're just kind of taking things slow.
No.
She will totally play into that and totally just create chaos with this.
Yes. Okay.
So I think as we're coming out saying goodbye to my mom, and we're walking down the steps towards the car, I'm like, they're going to invite you back.
She's actually playing into her curse chaotic with it.
Oh.
So yeah, I get a Pantheon dice by creating random chaos that throws off the rest of the group and causes trouble.
Nice.
They're gonna make me bring you back for family dinner. Like that's what's gonna happen now.
Oh, I hope your aunt comes and joins us. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be great.
She even gives like the aunt's name and just be like, and don't forget Uncle Morty. I've heard so much about Uncle Morty. I'm just dying to meet him.
Right. I feel like they like all too willingly shared like really embarrassing stories about me, like like during my Backstreet Boys phase, and like
yeah. It's yeah, Cheyenne holds out her phone and just be like, I especially love this picture of you when you used to walk around with the bucket on your head when you were
Yes.
just a little baby. I love that picture. You know, she's scrolling through her phone.
She has like 3 new friend requests on Facebook, like from my mom, my aunt. Yeah,
Yeah, your mom's already started texting me.
right.
Yeah, yeah, nice. All right, well, let's use that at the beginning actually of our next scene because I've got a cool way to segue into something that I had planned. So let's everyone spend another point of free time to represent the amount of time, obviously, that the dinner would take up.
Yep.
Yeah, and then let me know what's everyone's free time scores looking at the moment.
5 out of 7.
I'm
Okay.
at 4 out of 7.
All right, so haven't been doing too bad. Hasn't really occupied too much time lately. So, as this is going around and the one-sided joking, and Case walking out and just like, flushed red and all this other kind of stuff. And even then too, it's like, as, Case's mom is going down the steps with you and stuff like that. And lets Cheyenne kind of go a couple of steps ahead. And your mom just kind of takes your arm, Case, and just when I said like, she's just a lovely girl.
Yes.
And just be like, and then just kind of gives you like this little pat on the shoulders and everything like that. But then right away sees a look on your face, and she's like, I know, I'll stop, and just be like, okay, you just have
She's
a
got a lot
wonderful
going on,
evening.
Mom. She's got a lot going on.
I know. I'm not trying to meddle. And then right away she'd just be like, bye bye, Cheyenne. Have a wonderful night. It was lovely to meet you.
Yeah, she'll be like, bye, I can't wait till the next family dinner.
And then as the two of you are walking out to the car, Case, that's when you hear a familiar sound. And it's not something where it's just like you notice it, but it's almost just kind of like you just kind of stop and just be like, wait a second. And when you stop and just kind of focus for a moment, you hear like the exact frequency, tone, pitch, and everything that you heard of that sedan from the high school parking lot.
The Uncle Buck car?
The Uncle Buck car. But yeah. It's dark outside now. There's some street lights and everything like that. But, with the trees and everything, there's still quite a few dark areas. And it's an older car, so it doesn't have like, the headlights that automatically come on whenever you start the car or anything like that. So somewhere out there in this darkened street, this is the sound that you hear.
Yeah, no way is that, whatchamacallit. No way are there 2 cars this far out of whack just roaming around the city.
That sound this identical.
What's that?
Can you deal with that?
I mean, I could probably fix it if I put my hand on it, but why is it following us?
Oh, I know. I'm saying break it down so that they can't get away and we can jump them.
Oh, well, that I probably can. That I probably can do.
All right.
Figure out why they are following us.
I don't know if I can. I don't think I can ruin it, but I can take control of it.
I can ruin it.
Well, you know what? I'd actually like for us to do some initiative because things are about to get a lot more interesting than you would imagine.
Okay.
All righty then.
All right, for us newbies, initiative is the number of dice we roll?
No, it's a simple D10, and then you're basically just going to be adding. In this case, you're going to be adding your speed as a flat bonus. So if your speed is 3, then you're going to be adding +3 to the roll.
Oh, okay.
Speed. What about our initiative bonus? Our initiative.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it is the initiative bonus. It's already factored in already. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, which was based on your speed and all that other kind of stuff.
15.
15. All right.
11.
Oof.
15 and 11. Okay. And then I am just going to give a little roll. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay. So we got Case has 15. Cheyenne is 11. And Mysterious Party A is 12, and Mysterious Party B is 6. Alrighty then. So yes, Case, you've definitely got the jump on the situation at the moment. So we are now going to go into a turn sequence. So this is how basically everything's work. At the beginning, basically in initiative order, we're going to determine the actions that you are going to take on your turn. And this can compose of a quick action, which is an optional thing, and then a standard action. And there are very specific actions in place. But basically, in a nutshell, what I want from each of you is basically what it is that you want to be doing as your action. And then I will help you basically pick out what those specific actions are as they are listed in the book. What will then be happening is that everyone will then be choosing defenses if they're trying to do anything to actively resist anything else. So as it stands right now, because nothing has actively happened, there'd be very few defenses that would actually come into play at the moment. And then the third step is then we basically re-roll and we're going to resolve any effects that come into play. Okie doke. So we start with Case. So Case, what is it you're specifically looking to do at this point?
I think I want to. I think I want to turn off their car.
Okay. And that's definitely sounding like it's almost kind of sounding like it's a disarm action, but I would change the rule to that. Oh, no, here we go. Let me see. Tackle, throwing attack. It's using divine powers. So yeah, that in itself is a standard action unto itself. Is there anything else that you want to be doing at this point? Do you want to be kind of moving in the direction of the sound, or just staying exactly where you are?
Yeah, I think we want to head towards the car, but I don't want them either trying to drive away or trying to run us over. So the first order of business is just to stop the car. So
okay, alrighty then. So to do that, what are you planning on rolling?
I think I'm going to use. In this case, I'm going to use puppetry because I'm going to use manipulation because I'm going to manipulate. And I think I'm trying to remember. I think probably tech is the correct. It's not my strongest. Travel would be much better, but I don't think we're actually traveling. So
no. So yeah, tech and puppetry is definitely going to make sense. Now, because of where you are located, which is very close to one of Javier's bonds, you actually have +1, and +1 means +1 extra dice.
Perfect.
So basically, you're kind of in your zone. You're in your element. Now, yeah, let's go ahead and give that a roll. I'm just determining what my defense is going to be, if anything.
Woof. Okay. That's awesome. That's 5 successes.
Yeah.
5 successes, eh? Well.
So I think I would like to just not only turn off the car, but I think I would like both doors to go flying open.
Okay.
Yeah. I have something. Yes.
Yeah, let me see, because this is not your usual moment right now. Whoop, boom, boom. You know what? It does. So I'm not gonna do what I was thinking of. Let's play this out and we'll kind of see what happens. So that happens, and so like you just kill the engine outright. And when you do, is like, the doors come flying open, and you do see a card ahead where like the interior lights come on because the doors are open, and you can clearly see the car, plain as day, but nobody's in the car.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, actually, it's the other one's turn. It's mysterious player number A.
Okay.
So, boop, 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 boop. Let us see. It's at this point, actually, the car suddenly turns back on. And even with the doors wide open and stuff like this, and it just like revs up to full, as if like someone was inside pressing right down on the gas. And that's when the tires start to squeal, and the car is heading immediately like right towards where the two of you are. like literally starts, and when it does, it's even kind of like swaying side to side a little bit as it's moving forward, and it is gunning at like a breakneck speed. And I am going to, what I will be doing with that is I'll be basically trying to ram into the two of you. Now, neither one of you have actually used your defenses.
No.
So why don't you go ahead and both give me what it is that you want to do for your defenses? Like, how does it that you want to kind of, respond and deal with this situation?
So I think I want to, one, I want to dive out of the way, but two, I want to steer the car using puppetry.
Okay.
So I want the car to veer one way as we kind of dive the opposite way.
Okay. Some
So I was looking
manifestations.
for puppetry speed.
Yep. Okay. Cheyenne, what will you be doing at this point?
I am also going to try to move out of the way, but as I'm doing it, I want to step to where I can see inside the car, and I want to use otherworldly sight to see through their illusion.
Aha, I see that. All right, so Cheyenne, actually, no, Case, why don't you go ahead and you make your roll first, because you had the higher initiative order. Let's see how that played out.
Okay, got a bunch of dice here. Still got the +1 die for near Javier's territory, right?
I'm getting a little creative with the turn sequence on this for dramatic effect.
1, 2. Hang on. 1. Wait, that's a. Oh no, not that one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
3, 4. Okay. Sec here. Let's see. That's 1, 2. Oh, you did better than I did. So as you do, and you basically just kind of, what does it look like? Like, do you do that kind of superhero thing where you take this pose that, just kind of looks awkward if you didn't actually have some kind of superpower ability? Or is it something you just do mentally? You just look at the car and you just try and focus on it.
So, I'm moving. I'm trying to get out of the way of it, but my puppetry looks like I'm driving a car, right? So I crank the wheel as I kind of run I crank the wheel and run in one direction, and then watch the car kind of turn and swerve past.
Okay. When you do that, you actually feel this resistance on the wheel, as if another pair of hands is, also grabbing the hold of the wheel and taking control, but yours eventually kind of, masters control, but you're not quite able to kind of, veer it in the direction you aim for. You're able to kind of get it to kind of, turn towards stop, but it still gets close enough that Cheyenne, you trying to jump out of the way of danger is the roll that you can make now, because it gets close. It's not going to hit Case, but it's still one of those things where it's like your instincts to dodge out of the way are still like a valid defense right now. Yeah. So I'd like you to roll athletics and speed, please. And basically, I am going to need you to get at least 2 successes.
I am only rolling 1 die.
Uh-oh.
Pantheon die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a Pantheon die.
Okay. So I take 1 point from the pool then.
Oh, 1 success.
Oh. So as the car basically comes veering around and Case has been trying to counter it, it does actually come up along. It's like, Cheyenne, you're over towards kind of like the rear of Case's car. Case was over towards the driver's seat. So it's not going to come close to hitting, but it goes to actually strike the car that's parked behind you on the side of the street. And you have to jump out of the way. You do so, you're not injured, but you're now blocked off by this other car. You know what I'm saying? So you've kind of like had to jump up onto the sidewalk, and now you've got these cars that are in your way. There's a loud bang. Case, your mom looks out the window at this point and sees what's going on, or tries to see what's going on. Okay, Cheyenne, your turn. You go. So you've still got your actions that are available. Like I said, mixing the turn sequence here a little bit for dramatic effect, but let's go with your action right now.
I still want to see who is there, but I want to try to do so as I'm like trying to navigate my way out of this pinned in area.
Okay, so you're basically trying to kind of, like break this illusion or try and figure out who's actually controlling what's going on.
The illusion is the more important one. If I can't get out, I accept that. So, but she wants to see who is actually in that car.
I can tell you right now, there is absolutely nobody that's in that car. So it's almost like we're going to say that that's the quick action prepare. You use this moment to see exactly what it is that you're dealing with, what kind of threat and everything you're facing. And when you look, there is nobody that's in the car. And when you see that it's actually rammed into this other car parked on the side of the road, you do see the wheel starting to move as the car is getting ready to back up and try again. Like the car is driving itself.
Okay.
That leaves you with a standard action. So with this information, what do you want to try and do now?
I'm going to climb in the car.
The doors are wide open. That does make sense. So, you know what? I'm actually going to say that that's going to be tackle. I'm going to call that the tackle option, but with it because it's almost kind of like a grapple or some kind of thing like that. Yeah, but it's like you have to run up in order to kind of make up the lost ground. So it's going to be might plus speed.
Might plus speed. Okay. One success.
One success. Do. Okay, I'm going to make that enough. So instead of doing damage in this particular case, we're going to have it be as like you're actually now inside the car.
Yep.
So at the end of this round, Cheyenne is actually inside the car in the passenger seat as this wheel is spinning and the car is getting ready to go back in reverse. Finally, the last mysterious player in this round, Case. You hear something in the trees above you, and it sounds almost like small cackling. It's almost like if Alvin and the Chipmunks were doing an impression of cackling. And when you look up for just a brief moment just to see what's going on, you actually can see there's like these little glowing eyes, and there's about like a dozen or so of them as these small creatures leap down from the trees and land on top of your car. They are, it's very hard to make out what they are because it's dark with the street lights and everything like that, but it's like right away these little things, they jump down and they actually go to start leaping out to grab a hold of you. So let me see, how am I going to do this? I'm going to leave it at this round basically is as they go and they jump down and they're just starting to kind of leap over and start to swarm. Let's move to the second round, and now we'll play things out properly. So let me see here. Let's keep the initiative order the same. So Case, actually, you know what? No, let's re-roll everything. Let's mix it up. I always like mixing it around basis. Everyone roll your initiative again, please.
Nice. 14.
10.
Okay, and let's see. For mine, it's 12 and 6. Alrighty then. So let's start by just giving me a description of what you want your actions to be, and then we'll use that, and then we'll go through turn order to go through the actual sequence of things. So Cheyenne, you're inside the passenger seat of the car. What do you want to do when you're in there?
Can I slide over to the driver's seat and try to take over?
That definitely sounds like something that you can try to do. So basically, try to physically take control of the car.
Yes.
Okay. Case. Sorry. That means the car technically actually has initiative order. The car will actually be going next. The car will be backing up and basically trying to, at this point, Case is being dealt with. So now the car is actually going to try and start doing some stunts in the street to actually try and get rid of you, to actually kind of like throw you out because the doors and everything are wide open.
Oh my God, it's Harvey.
So then that's going to determine like
Or
basically,
Harvey the love bug.
yeah, almost, except it's like Uncle Buck's sedan. And that's going to determine basically the defenses that you have available that you're going to try and roll on this. Case, what are you going to do?
So I have a quick question. By this point, do we have our relics? Like, I bought a relic during character creation. Like, do I have the relic?
Oh, yes, that's right. You've got with the gloves, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. I don't see why you wouldn't. It'd almost be something I could see this as, because, and I have started to think about how some of the relics and everything can really come into place. I could almost kind of see in this case, I'm going with a bit of a shortcut where the sparks that you've received have almost kind of started to manifest within these relics themselves.
Okay.
Because I'm worried about pacing wise to try and add the incorporation of the relics. So let's shortcut that. So yes, you do have that.
All right. So I'm just gonna start punching these things. Like, that's the. I'm just gonna. These things are like jumping down, running at me. I'm just gonna come at them and just start punching them one at. Like just throwing fists at whatever these creatures are.
Okay. And then what they're going to do is they're basically just going to try and swarm all over Case and basically just start biting, gnawing, punching, grabbing, and everything like that. Yeah. All right. So now let's start actually making dice rolls happen. So Cheyenne, you get a chance to actually do your actions first.
Yeah.
So you wanted to, I'm going to say your quick action is going to be to move, because with the car, going in reverse and sliding from side to side, and even to like bashing around into some of the other cars parked on the street, it takes like full concentration just to slide over like those couple of feet without falling out of the car. And now you want to try and take control of it. I'm going to actually say, let's go with disarm. So, and that's going to be fighting plus perception, because with, once again, the way that the car is rocking back and forth to the side, if you have another skill that you want to replace one of those with, I'm all ears to that.
Would I be able to use my might to try and overcome it with my perception?
Yeah, I'm good for that.
Okay. And then, would I be able to incorporate my blessing, disrupt the system?
I don't see why not.
Okay, so then
It very much feels like it.
They're at a -1 per Pantheon dice, so I'm just going to sacrifice one of the Pantheon dice.
Okay.
To give them a -1.
Gotcha. -1 to the car. Okay. Good. Alrighty then. So yeah, go ahead and make the roll. I'm going to say, actually, because the car is going to try and defend against that, that it is basically going to, I'm actually going to say block.
Okay.
Because that's literally what it's going to try and do by actually trying to kind of like, physically like toss you out of the car.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. I don't have a lot to work with, but I got something here.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
All those dice got nothing.
Oh, because I rolled a 10. I thought that was a 9 there too, but no, that is not the case. Doom. So yeah, basically all that means is that, so as you go and reach and you try and take control of the vehicle, it immediately does like this rusty old sedan car spins around in reverse 360 degrees. And it actually taps your head actually against kind of the side of the door frame. Doesn't do any damage, but basically just blocks your attack. So it blocks you from being able to try and take control of this vehicle. So now you're just kind of stuck behind the driver's seat of this car that's doing 360 degree spins backwards in the middle of a suburban street.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And now the car, let's see. It is going to use this. What specific one am I? I'm almost just going to say, you know what? A close combat attack. Just to almost like straight up damage. And as it does, it actually like is going to reverse and it's actually going to go up onto the sidewalk and try and ram itself into a tree and try and hurt you.
Okay.
So let's see. That's going to be for me. That's going to be fighting plus speed. I don't have any kind of a speed bonus as a car that I added to it, so I'll just take that as is. And what do you then want to do for your defense? You've got, let me see a good option here for you. Well, there's a quick defense of brace. Nope, that's not going to apply in this case. Yeah, so you can try and just kind of, I would say block you could do, where it's almost like you just kind of brace yourself for it physically within the car, or dodge if you wanted to just jump right out of the vehicle altogether.
You know what? I'm just gonna jump out of the vehicle altogether.
All right, so you're going to be rolling athletics plus speed, and I am going to be rolling fighting plus speed. I'm rolling 4 dice.
Nope, nothing.
Oh,
Successes.
I got one. I got 1 success. So that's gonna do 1 damage on you.
Okay.
On it, it's 1 health that you lose. So that basically, as it comes up and it just rear ends into this tree, it kind of knocks you back, and your head actually hits the back of the seat really hard.
Okay.
Alrighty then. Yeah, and that was with the -1, so that could have been even worse. Okay, so that brings us to Case.
Yes.
So you want to start going in, basically kicking and punching and everything. So you're doing a close combat attack.
You got it.
Is there any kind of a quick action or anything? Do you want to? So you used to fight quite a bit in high school. Did you want to do a little feinting in there as well? So you got a little bobbing and weaving to throw your opponents off?
Is it going to cost me anything?
You got to roll for it. It's fighting plus deception. If successful, you'll get a +2 bonus to your attack.
No, because
Yeah.
deception is not one of my strong points. So
Okay, gotcha.
nope. Frontal assault is.
Alrighty then. So yeah, fighting plus speed, and they are basically just going to. Yeah, I'm gonna dodge on that one. It's like
Now-
they're just kind of swarm around you.
When it says my gloves are a weapon, blunt damage +2.
Right.
Is that 2 dice or is that 2 after I hit?
I take that as 2 damage.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm rolling. So I'm rolling. I'm rolling fighting plus speed.
Okay.
That's a good roll. It's a good roll-ish. It's 2 successes.
2. You did 1 better than me. So there we go. So there's the difference on that. So basically that will do. And so with the gloves, and that's going to be 3 damage. All right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm only mildly freaked out about whatever these things are because they're clearly not human, and they're clearly not something like a raccoon or something like they're creatures, right?
They're small humanoid creatures. And as they're starting to get close, and you can see them in like little flashes of the lights nearby, and especially too, people's front porch lights are specifically coming on and stuff like this. They are like these bestial, hairless little creatures, only about 3 feet tall. They look withered and starved. And at one point, when you go to punch one of them, it's almost like your punch doesn't go immediately through them so much as they just kind of disappear for a fraction of a second. They just like phase out of reality for a moment, and then they come right back too. But you're able to kind of, like smack a couple of others around. You even take one, and you just kind of throw them onto like the trunk of a nearby car.
Yeah, I have
So
no idea what these things are, but I'm trying to keep my cool. Like I'm yelling out like, step off, little whatever little things you are. Like,
okay, now it's their turn to start doing some. Let's see, what am I gonna do to you? What am I going to do? It just feels like kind of swarming over and then just grabbing hold of you is what they're gonna do here. And if I do grab you, then you're gonna take a -1 penalty to all physical actions.
okay.
And if this penalty reduces you to a strength of 0, you cannot perform a break grab. So basically, if I end up putting your strength down to a 0, you're stuck.
Okay.
So that's going to be might plus speed. What do you want to use for defense? What do you want to do to counter this?
I mean, I think I just want to keep these off of me. So, I think a combination of dodging and like ripping them off me. How about might plus speed as well?
Yeah, let's
Or
do
fighting.
that. Yeah, it's almost kind of like, blocking is a little bit more like this. So yeah, fighting plus speed.
Okay.
All right, you roll yours and I'll roll mine. Ooh, I got 2.
I got 2 as well.
Oh, there we go. So basically, it's almost kind of an even match. It's like as each of them is coming on you, you're able to grab them, maybe even just kind of, like punch them up in the jaw a little bit. You're able to keep them off of you, but it's not taking them long to swarm over you. Like this is a matter of time. It's like you're not sure how much longer you're going to be able to hold on. And based on the amount of like this kind of gibbering chatter that you're hearing, it feels like there's even more of them up in the trees. Okay, let's re-roll because now we're in a new round.
All right. 14 again.
8.
Fine.
I'm just
Fine.
consistently going down.
Alrighty then. Cheyenne, what do you want to do this round?
All right. Am I close to where Case is?
At this point, no. The car has actually moved you back. I'm gonna say you're like a block away.
Oh, geez. Okay. Okay. And they're not looking at me, so that's not going to work. Okay. So I am going to my movement is 6. Would it take me a whole turn to get up by where Case is?
Your movement is 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be about,
Okay. Actually, you know what I'm gonna try to do?
Okay.
I'm gonna try to flood out the engine of the car.
Oh, I like it. All right, so you're gonna try and flood out the engine. The car itself is actually going to, let's see, is actually just going to try and take off with you and actually just like T-bone one of the neighboring parked cars and try and. What was that?
I jumped out last round when it.
Oh yes, that's right. So what it's going to do then is it's actually going to try and like get itself off the sidewalk, turn itself into position, and actually just try and run you right over.
Okay.
Case, what do you want to do?
I'm really just need to. I need to keep fighting these guys. Are they in a way where I could just run them over?
In a way that you can run them over?
Like, for instance, like I'm fighting them. Are they so close to me that like I can't like? I would like to get rid of a bunch of them and just like grab like puppet a car and just drive over them.
The majority of them are actually, when they're not on you, they're on your car. Some of the other cars nearby, but they are predominantly like on your car. So you could puppet that car.
Yeah, I think maybe if they're like predominantly on the car, I think I'm going to take my car and I think I'm going to send it. Kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to send my car to hit the other car.
Ah, okay. With these little creatures on top.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty then. Cool. And what they're just gonna continue doing what they're doing, which is, to swarm down and try and, pin Case to the ground. So let's actually start making things happen. So Cheyenne, you want to flood the engine. Yeah. So that's definitely, let's see, Ruin is what you're definitely looking to do. And then whatever skill you feel, it feels like Tech is going to be appropriate because you'd have to know how an engine works to know how to flood it. So Tech plus Ruin, please. And for the car itself, let's
do I
see.
get extra one because we're by
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You're basically like you're in your Pantheon's territory, so you got a +1 bonus on that. Okay. I'm also gonna say I'm not gonna tell you what specifically the car is doing, but it's gonna be something special.
I got 2.
You got 2? Let me see. I got 1, 2. I got 4. Because I got a 10 with my roll as well. So, as you do, you take it, and when you go to flood the engine, you actually start to kind of use like the cooling fluid and everything else that's in there, because the car has it's an older vehicle, and sometimes what happens is that some people will actually just use like water to kind of like cool the radiator and everything like this.
Yeah.
So you take this, you go and you start flooding the engine, and you hear this in case you can recognize as well that the engine is actually being flooded. But what happens is that even with that, the car is still continuing to run, even though it's chugging. And it's like the engine actually goes to be like just killed dead because it's not able to process the gasoline properly. The car just continues to move. It's almost just like on its own, even without the engine.
Whoa. That's not right.
No, it definitely isn't. And that makes it over to my turn. So I'm going to continue doing what I wanted to do, which is to try and run Cheyenne over. So I'm going to call that just a close combat attack.
Okay.
Plain and simple. And I don't have any penalties. All right. Let's give this a shot. Oh, what do you want to do for defense? You just want to jump out of the way again?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be athletics plus speed.
I'm going to use the Pantheon die.
No.
I know.
No, I'm okay. You go ahead.
Sure?
Yeah, I can put on mute when I need to. Okay. There's going to be a little vacuuming going on in the background, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, so what did you get? Because I tell you what I got is not good.
I got 1.
You got 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a critical failure because I got no successes and I rolled a 1.
Well, there it is.
So as the car actually comes careening forward, almost like propelled in its own power, it just kind of stops. It's just no, it just used up all that energy, and it just kind of just starts to roll into this soft stop. So it's like you're just barely able to make it out of the way. You start to back yourself up, and then that's when it just stops like just almost like inches from your face. It just stops on its own. Ooh. Okay, Case, your turn. You want to take your car and start smashing into the other car. Now, there's still a benefit to doing that because there's all of these little creatures on top of the car, so you could still do it to get rid of them.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I can still hit the car, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can still totally hit the car.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So, what do you want to roll for that?
So puppetry, because I'm driving my car without me in it. Travel, because I'm moving my car around.
Yep, definitely. Give that a roll, and
I got a lot of dice here. I'm just gonna warn you.
Yeah, okay. I think the best option that I have for these guys is dodge, to just kind of run out of the way. actually run for cover, I'm going to say. Because failure means they only take half damage. That feels like their best option. Ooh. Okay, well, I got 3 successes.
I got 5.
Ah, son of a. Okay.
I'm telling you, I was rolling a ridiculous amount of dice. I have bonuses all over the place for this.
Bonuses. So many bonuses. Okay, well, even then, too, I still am only going to take half damage for the effort. Okay, so that means they're only going to take 1. So the car goes raining off, and it does go and smash into the old sedan. And a lot of these little creatures, they go and they jump off and they just scatter. But some of them are actually been like thrown down to the ground and kind of rolling around on the pavement, scraped up. Now that just leaves it with them. They're a little more scattered, but there's still some that are immediately around you and on top of you, Case. So they're going to keep doing, they're going to try and do a grab again. Just try and pin you down. Some of them are even kind of grabbing you the leg. One of them even goes and bites you in the leg just to try and just kind of bring you down to your knees to make you easier to drop all the way down to the pavement.
Okay.
How do you want to counter that?
So I think, to be realistic, I don't think I can get rid of these guys by speed, but I think I can get rid of them by might still, right? So I'm still just trying to peel them off of me.
Okay, so basically,
and some fighting.
Them? Yeah, fighting plus speed.
Fighting plus speed.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. All right.
Ooh! I got 4.
Yeah, you're gonna. I've got 3.
Oh, okay, so it's just gonna be enough. So yeah, because I've always been rolling a 10, at least 1 10. All right, so you take a -1 penalty to all physical actions until you're able to break this grab.
Okay, so so this is a grab, not damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Let's do round 4. Let's get some initiative rolls going.
All right.
What I'm going to do, because I'm keeping an eye on the time here, is at the end of round 5 is when I'm going to have police show up.
Okay.
So that we don't go too long on this one.
Ha.
All right. Give me your initiative results, please.
7.
14.
Okay, so Case is going to put you in the lead. What are you going to do this round?
I got to get these things off me.
And how do you want to do that?
I think I'm just ripping them off, right? Like just sheer might.
Okay. Now, you have been doing that quite a bit, and there actually is an optional rule in the book here that if you do the same action 3 rounds in a row, you start to take a -1 penalty in that.
Luckily, last turn, I used...
That's right. You moved the car.
I moved the car.
A little different. Yeah, okay, there we go. So you're mixing it up a little bit.
No spamming the defense button.
I like that optional rule. I read that and it was just I can think of so many players I could have used that on.
So I'm thinking fighting plus might this time because they're on me. I need to physically rip them off.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. And for them, let me see. Race, catch, repair.
Oh, and -1 die. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost. It seems like at this point, it's almost like I'm gonna use block, because it's like as they've got you, some of them are trying to kind of actually block your efforts by grabbing hold of your arms, or actually trying to physically block. You say you try and get an elbow up to knock one in the face, one of them will actually try and block it off. So I'm just going to use that. I mean, no matter what, I'm only really able to roll their speed. They don't really have any of this other stuff. Okay, and that's a bupkis. but it's not a critical failure.
Same thing. I failed without critically failing.
Okay, so basically everything is still at a standstill. So Case has been dropped down to like one knee with about like 4 or 5 of these little creatures over top of him.
Yep.
Okay, that brings us over to the car next, which is basically it's now dead. It's inert. It's not doing anything. So I'm just gonna actually leave it at that. And that brings us to Cheyenne. What are you doing?
I am going to try to run over to Case and use my aura of fear to try and make these things that are on him feel like they're drowning and need to get away.
Nice.
Oh, got you, Todd. I see what you're doing. Looks like he's vacuuming right now.
Yes.
So. Or he might be frozen too. There he goes. Okay. Hopefully we don't get arrested.
Yeah. Nope. There we go. We're all good.
There you go.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of how to.
So
I got really nothing else that they can specifically do to try and counter that.
If they have a spark, they get a roll. So
they do actually. So they do get a roll. All right.
It's simple. So it's a discipline plus intuition resistance check.
Ooh. Discipline plus. Well.
Oh no! Wait, no. I'm sorry. It's discipline plus empathy. Sorry, that's for all. It's discipline plus empathy.
Okay. Well, either way. So in that case, I'm just gonna get a fate die. So I'm just gonna roll 1 die, and I have to get a 10. Otherwise, I got nothing. But that 10 will count as 2 successes. So I'm really putting the pressure on myself. Okay. All right, let's do it. And you to use your fear and everything like that. How would you like to roll that? Let's see. Feels like influence.
Yeah, influence.
And beckon. I'd almost wonder.
Yeah, I think beckon because she's trying to bring out a feeling.
Yeah.
Specifically of her pantheon. So
yeah. All right. Cool.
So,
oh my goodness! I rolled a 10.
Really?
I did.
All right. So, what was the roll that again?
Influence and plus beckon.
Influence plus beckon. Okay.
Yeah.
You
gotta get 3. Gotta get 3.
1, 2, 3. 3! I got 3!
Oh,
yes!
10 at a time.
Run, you little gremlins. Run away.
And they do. They just give out this shriek and they just start taking off. And as they do, you can hear they're almost just kind of like in whatever it is that they're speaking, like this, like as they go running off. And they just and then eventually they just kind of, some of them actually just kind of leap up on top of cars. And as they leap off the car, they just kind of, and then they're just gone.
All right. Yeah, Chase, Case, we gotta go. We now.
Yeah, we do. I just make I just make my car come around to me, and by force of will, keep it going. And I'll fix it while we're driving, because I'll just shape it while we drive.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
So,
all right.
It does the Christine thing where the bumper pops back out.
Can you do the chameleon paint color change?
Yeah, I got shape.
Ooh, you know what? Let's do a roll and let's see what that looks like. because then this will give me an idea of whether or not you're able to lose somebody.
Okay. So that's shaping, and what skill? Craft.
I'm thinking deception.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Deceptions. I don't have deception. I do have crafts though.
You know what? I'm good with that because that almost kind of feels like handyman kind of a skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, go ahead with that one.
Okay. It's not a lot, but let's see what we can do. We can do okay with that. Hang on. That is, wow. That's 4 successes, a 10 and 2 other successes.
Nice.
Ooh. Alrighty then. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can use these manifestations. You could use it to bump up the duration. So if you wanted to spend, so you rolled 4. There's the one really just to make the change. You've got 3 extras to spend.
Well, I want to fix the car. So
you want to fix the car? Yeah. Okay.
So if I can spend 1 to just kind of remove all the cosmetic damage.
Yeah, okay, so there's 1 for magnitude. That's going to make a slight change. Like, no significant damage has been done to the car, so I think a slight change is needed to do that. So there's 1 spent on the magnitude. If you wanted to, because you're also talking about changing the paint color and all this kind of stuff to disguise your car, you could spend 2 more to make it last a day.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so your car has been disguised for a day.
So yeah, we jump in the car, we head down the road as like we hear sirens in the background, and I'm like, hang on, and I'm like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. I'm like, come on, car, fix yourself, and it like pops out into place, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
And now red, and like whoosh, like this metallic candy apple red color comes over the car.
Nice.
Interior, exterior.
Okay. However, as you go and you start driving away, and the car has changed and everything else like this. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna do 1 more roll here. Let me see. That's going to be 2 of those, and then I'm also going to use Ruin for sure. So I'm going to roll 6 dice here. Okay. A tree all of a sudden falls. Like all of a sudden, there is a flash of lightning that strikes a nearby tree as you start driving down this road. And this is like as you're transforming the car. So you haven't completed the transformation yet. And then the lightning strikes and this tree just goes to start falling over. So I need you to basically roll to try to avoid hitting the tree and getting stuck on, kind of like this end of the tree.
Speed and journey?
Speed and journey for sure.
Okay.
Sorry. I was saying, can I use Ruin to try and like splinter the tree?
Yeah. Why don't you both make a roll and then we'll go with the highest one.
All right, so that'd be Ruin and Might, or what would you say that would be?
Ruin and Might, yeah, because it's almost like, it's a big solid object. I feel Might's really needed to pull this off.
Have you ever seen the Dukes of Hazzard?
Way, way back. Way, way back. To the point that I wouldn't be able to remember.
It's going to look like that.
I got 3 successes.
I got 6.
Oh my goodness.
2 10s, a 9, and a 7.
Wow.
Okay, it's time to get a little ridiculous with the stunt work on this one. So Phil, go ahead and take full leisure. I just think it's safe to say that, would you like to use a boost to increase the Pantheon pool?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have more than enough to give back to the...
Yeah. Yeah, and you still have another boost that, I mean, you could use it to spend some of those manifestations, but I think it's safe to say that there is going to be something absolutely redonkulous is about to happen here.
Yeah, I think as
yeah.
the tree's falling, I look at Cheyenne and I'm like, close your eyes and hold on. And I grab the emergency brake and I throw the wheel and we drift sideways and just go like right under the tree as it's falling. And just the leaves of the tree like touch the paint job, but like not a scratch on it. And like we basically drift out the other side and shoot down the street.
Nice. Okay, cool. And it's with that you're able to make your escape. And whoever it was that's been chasing you, they're gone. They can't. Yeah, they've lost you. You know, like with the tree, and even then too, you've changed everything about the appearance of your car, so you have lost them.
I just crank up Radar Love on the on the radio, and we just like we drive off into the city. Like we got to go find everybody now.
That's like this. That's like the second golden earring reference that you've given tonight.
It's such a good tune, though.
It is, and you know what funny is?
It has a soundtrack.
What's funny is that I used to have that CD because I had signed up for one of those like CD of the month clubs.
Yeah, like Columbia House.
Yeah, Columbia House. There we go. And that was the bonus one that they sent me, even though I didn't ask for it, because they would do that. And that's the only one I still have to this day. Of
That's
all the
awesome.
ones I wanted, Golden Earring CD with Radar Love is the one I still have.
That is, I think that is actually the better version of the song than the White Lion remake from the 80s.
Oh, geez, I think I'm glad I've never heard that.
Oh, it's not bad. It's just that the White Lion one is stronger on the guitar solo and less on the drum solo. But I think Golden Earring kind of nails it with the drum solo.
Okay. All right. So we're running a little bit later than we had initially planned on, but I would like to do one little kind of epilogue-y thing, assuming that this is the direction that the two of you would want to go in. And even with everything that's going on, these tiny little creatures attacking, and almost being run over by, like animated vehicles, do you still want to go and check out Eliza's address? Because I have an idea where we can do something very quick where I can give you I can reveal right away what's happening with there, and then we can kind of call the scene there. It would involve spending some free time because you'd have to get to that spot, and it would be kind of a different scene. But then, I have a way that we could do it within 5 minutes.
I could do it.
Yeah, or if it's one of those things where the two are just like, we gotta lay low and find the other two because they might be in danger as well. We could do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I think okay. I think taking off is just the right, on our list of things to do is find everybody, and then we've got this clue that we can all help follow up on.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's wrap it right there then. Because I think that's given us quite a few clues, and then we can take that and we can match it up with what Molly and Javier come up with next time, and then we can use that to basically come to part 3, which is put all the information together and start confronting people. Sound good?
Yeah.
I have a feeling we may have to squeeze in a part 4, but we'll see how things go.
There we go.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, there we go. So that was part 2A of our New Gods of Detroit AP. Thank you very much for playing, and we'll do this again next time. Aloy, you can turn us off live now. I'll give him a ping in case he went back to the...
He was in chat saying that he thought we were going to go shorter.
Yeah, well, that, as always, that was the intention.
How much XP do we get?
Oh, yes, let's do the XP. Yes.
Well, we're waiting for Aloy.
Yeah, well, I can think of a couple of, really cool moments. Let me see. What's the page that stuff's on again? Given it spending XP. Okay, 128. Yeah, it has been a while since I've actually run games that have very specific action types and turn structure and everything else like this. And I really have noticed getting into this game. But then once you kind of get the flow of it, we'll see. I might get a strongly worded email from Aloy actually when he watches this. It's like, you did
Play
the
with
following
the rules.
Yeah. But yeah, once you really kind of get down to the flow and you have an idea of what's going on with it, I felt like, I had a much better handle on it. So it's only just going to get smoother. Okay, so everyone gets 1 XP for showing up.
Yay.
And my appreciation.
Yay.
Let me see. There were really because your family isn't one of your bonds.
Nope.
So there's no bond scenes or anything that happened there. Using curses.
Yeah, we both used a curse, didn't we?
Yeah. I would say Cheyenne most definitely is like the cause chaos. Because the XP here for using curses is to add drama, give the group a way out of a problem, or introduce new ones during the session. I kind of feel like yours, like just being bored, just kind of fiddling around with a bunch of things, never really came about. It didn't add any drama or give you a way out of the problem or something like that. But in the case of Cheyenne, I mean, like, it definitely almost kind of like it would have, if we were doing this casually from home, we totally would have played out that scene. Because she was doing it solely to just be like a little shit disturber at that moment.
Oh yeah.
So Cheyenne, give yourself 1 XP for that. However, I am definitely going to say a spotlight award. I'm definitely going to give 1 XP to Case for just interacting with your mother in general. Just that part right there was just a hoot. Just dinner with Case's family. I love that. That actually technically is going to be the memorable moment. So yeah, give yourself plus 1 XP for that memorable moment, Case, for sure. For Cheyenne, for your memorable moment, the actual going through and looking at Case's old student records.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was sneaky. I liked it. I loved that a lot. Spotlight award, I'm going to go and give an XP actually to Case for the car alarms. Where it's like, that was a moment you took charge of the situation and you created one hell of a distraction.
Yeah.
That in itself actually did kind of help move the story a little forward too.
Cool. That was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Spotlight award actually for Cheyenne, and when we took charge of the situation. I don't know. Is there one in particular? There's nothing that's quite coming to my head for what Cheyenne did, but I'm definitely open to suggestions. Was there a moment where Cheyenne really kind of took charge of a situation, was an effective leader during the session?
Well, I think the whole break-in of the records, like that
Yeah.
was all Cheyenne. That wasn't me.
Give us an option on that one. I was just like,
Yeah.
What are you going to do so I can break into this thing?
even questioning Mr. Rudolph. So yeah, definitely plus 1 XP for Cheyenne on that one there.
Yeah, we didn't have any clues from me. That was all Cheyenne.
Yeah. However, working together to getting into the office, I'm also going to give a plus 1 XP because that was good teamwork there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is something that your characters learned this session?
Well, I think we learned that monsters exist.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing now.
That wasn't a thing we were aware of before the game started.
Yep, there are monsters, which is kind of one of those in hindsight. Well, if we're gods, of course there's monsters, but holy crap, there's monsters,
Mm-hmm. I would have to say that Cheyenne definitely is not a land person. if her feet aren't touching sand, she feels very out of control, not out of her element, because she can talk to people and stuff like that. but it's more like she doesn't have the control of the area that she wants.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I'm good with that. Give yourself an XP for that. So, cool. There we go.
Sweet.
All right. So yeah, that's it. We're just waiting now at this point for Aloy to go ahead and turn the live feed off. If the two of you want to go ahead and call it a night, we'll go ahead and pack ourselves up. If the screen goes blank for a little while, we'll just leave it up to Aloy to catch up, I guess. He has been tagged. He has been flagged. And yeah, so thank you very much for playing, you two. And then when we all meet up again next time, it will be all 5 of us for part 3. We'll put all our notes together and we will try and figure out what the hell is going on here.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clock out because I got to get home and get up early in the morning. So we'll just leave the screen blank.
Sounds good.
It'll just be Aloy's face with that look that says, is like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, there it is. He's
Oh,
ended
there
it.
it is.
Yeah, okay.